I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and my real name is Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II, legal heir to the British throne. As of the day I was born in 1939, I was kidnapped in 41 by the Illuminati. Members David Rockefeller, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers. Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador to England, 36 till they kicked him out in 46. He helped, and so did his son JFK, who was flying into the embassy and actually staying there during the time I was kidnapped and prior to my birth. Then you got George, the illegal George VI, my father's brother, and my uncle, who helped in my kidnapping, and he's illegal. He's a war criminal. The movies that made George out to be a hero. And look how history's treated my father. Total lie. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, who was actually the queen in 1936 and still is, because it was an illegal takedown of my father with character assassination and lies. And then they kidnapped me, his daughter, the real monarch. There was an addendum to my father's abdication, stating that should he have an heir, it would not disinherit the heir. The heir would be crowned, inherit. I was born, and it was all legal, the addendum. The takedown of my father is what's illegal. So I want to make this statement, and then I'm going to go on and try to get across what I meant to started to say at first. I was given the name of Peggy Ann Dempsey, a twin to Carl, and both I found out were killed by their mother. She became a murderer, and then I was brought there right after Peggy was murdered. Carl was murdered right after birth, I understand, but Peggy would probably have been about 3 years old when we were switched. She was murdered, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you how she died. She was fed to the pigs. So I assumed the arrangements were made between the Dempsey and because of Carl's murder in bringing me there. Well, they had to kill Peggy to do that and make the switch. So I'm going to leave it there because the Dempsey family totally always knew it. I found out in 83 about my birth, and I found out about a lot of other things that made sense what had been done to me. Anyway, I wanted to make this short, and I'm not. They became party to the murder of the twins, and their mother, the grandmother of the twins, Lina, the mother of the twins, they swore the family to secrecy. So you got them lying about murders, a party to the cover-up, and about my kidnapping and the torture and trying to kill me is how they did it. Tried to kill me to shut me up. When I did the book, they were afraid. I did a medical malpractice book in 78. I'm just going to leave that date because Larry Flint was shot then, and it was a mind control murder. And I'm not going to get into that now, except the book, I had antifreeze put in me April Fool Day. So you talk about what I was going to say now. The young man that was sent back from North Korea. I have nothing against this young man. Let me clarify it. I seem to have to do that in all this. People consider me an outsider. Quite frankly, if you told the truth about my life and what was done to my father and mother and to the British people in Germany and some of your own people here, it's a horror story. It's telling the truth about people who have lived, making themselves out to be the world's savior, when in fact it's the other way around. So anyway, they've done a little bit of everything to me, and I've put it up, so I'm not going to go back and reiterate the things that have been done to me that, I don't know if I'll last till tomorrow, but I've lasted this long. I hope that I get to hear it all told, the truth, and laid out, and let the chips fall where they may. So I guess I'm responding to, in part, the way people hear when I found out about my kidnapping and while these things happened to me. I was almost lobotomized. That's on the Watergate tapes, 18-minute gap, where Henry Kissinger, the Secretary of Defense and stayed under Nixon, ordered it. I was taken to College Park, Georgia, to a clinic there, and I lay on the table. I had been drugged, and I could hear everything that was said. I just couldn't move hardly. I don't think I could move. I could see some about 6 people, I think, I know there's 4 to 6, standing there where I could see them across the little hall that were wearing surgical masks. So on the tape was the ransom demands, and I lay there. I could hear it all, what they were going to do to me if it didn't come through. Well, the Brits or my family, somebody came through with a ransom, and I lived to die another day. So this is ongoing. Now I'm going to jump to this, and I'm going to quit this today anyway. I'm on Facebook, YouTube. People want me shut up because actually it's a lifetime of horror done to me and my country and to my children and to my mom, who was an American. I almost don't want to say that. The O'Keeffe's Americans. The O'Keeffes suffered a lot in this too. It's anyway. The response to the young man that was held by North Korea, and there's 3 or 4 more, I believe they say, is the American press, who the Illuminati that kidnapped me are part of. They control your press, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Kennedys, part of my own family, etc., and the Freemasons. So you're not getting any of the truth on your press. They won't mention me and the truth about what was done to me, my dad, family, Great Britain, Germany, etc., and your own people here. So, cut to the chase. It's the reaction people have given me here. It's, I really don't care what happened to your happening, because it never stopped. The mess has ongoing terror, and I have no civil rights. I've been told that so many times. People became involved in things that really have hurt, almost killed me. No law steps in and stops it. I'm alive, so I guess somewhere along the line somebody stepped in and stopped it. The British were here when I look back, and the Germans and some Americans and some law enforcement, okay? Maybe the FBI. I got a letter from them back in 79. Ongoing investigation, national security involved. Now that most people don't care, they just want me shut up. You tell the truth about what they've done to me, it blows their image like they're this country that's going out to save the world, when in fact it's the other way around. So their reaction to this young man coming back, his family, the media covered it, everybody just, and I have nothing against this man. Let me say that they brought back. But look at you, America. I hope you get to look at what you have done to me personally, with everybody knowing it, and the response I got from you. This young man was brought back, and when they got him back, he was brain dead, in a coma. Well, I remember Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, when I was doing the book on mind control, before I found out about being kidnapped. When I did find out my real name in 83, I could remember a whole lot about my kidnapping and being brought here. So I had something else I was going to add to that, but I'm going to stop now. I've said enough, and it's not that people doubt it. They know it's true. That's the problem. So I hope that it's told, and you get to see the reaction of when I tried to tell people with proof positive, and then they were gotten. Everybody's got something to hide. So law enforcement got offenses done by people to engage them in what was happening and done to me and my sons and etc. So The difference is that the Americans committed the crime against me and all these things that are so hideous they don't want told. The image would be blown. And yet they turn around and they care for a young man who North Korea, what's North Korea? Um, I did want to say this. When it was flown out to Larry Flint's October twice of '83, he was shot, and I was writing about mind control. He flew me out there because Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, was one of the people I wrote about in the book, and his plane went down. It was shot down by the Soviet with a Russian MiG. It veered into the airspace. I knew Mr. Flint had been shot. It was done in patterns, and I was writing about it. I'd never met him. So I'm flown out there, and the first thing he said to me when I was picked up and brought to his Bel Air home was, "You don't have to tell me anything about yourself. I know everything there is to know. I know that they were going to send you back a vegetable." At that time, I didn't know he knew about my being given antifreeze or the lobotomy by Henry Kissinger that was ordered if ransom wasn't paid. That's what he meant. I would be sent back to Great Britain, their monarch, in a coma, a lobotomy, or antifreeze. You might as well hang it up. I don't know how I survived or if I'll survive till tomorrow, but it's a difference made. It was okay to do all this to me, and yet